Hello. So today we are going to be talking to Florence. Florence is one of the committee members of the Executive PA Network. I promise at some point I will interview people who are not in the PA Network. I know that, well, they're my first point of contact and there are about 100 and over of them. So I'm enjoying getting to know about quite a lot of them. I do have some videos that I have made of people who are not in the network. I'm just working on the editing and getting the permissions that are required for me to share them. So I will do it. I promise. So back to Florence. Florence and I got into a conversation during one of the events, and the event we were discussing about burnouts and how people come back from burnouts. And when she told me about her passion for music and how that helped her with her recovery, I thought this would be really, really interesting to have as a podcast. We all talk about burnouts. Very few people talk about life after the burnout. And for some people, it is not even possible for them to change careers. So you still have to be in the same career. But then what are the tools that you need to prepare you for stay in this same career that burnt you out? Where are you going to be looking at yourself? How do you recover from this? It's all very complex, and yet it's easy. Because there are people who've done it and you can do it. It just takes a lot of support from the people around you, and it takes a lot of just understanding from even understanding yourself, even forgiving yourself and giving yourself permission to enjoy life in a different way. So I'm looking forward to talking to Florence, and I hope you will learn a lot from her wisdom.
Okay.
So, hi, Florence.
Hi, Mercy.
So, today we are going to talk about the mental health and how people recover, basically. Because we all know that executive assistants, well, we burn out and sometimes we have to come back to work. But how do you heal? What do you do after you've healed? What does healing look like? And that's why we're talking to Florence, somebody who's been through it and seen the other side of it. And she is
Yeah.
going to be talking to us about her passions and what made her survive it. So, you have been a successful PA for years.
Yes.
And so now, how has your role shaped who you are professionally and personally?
Yeah. Well, basically, for me, being a PA is really a role that goes beyond, organization or efficiency. For me, a PA role, it's about also empathy. It's about adaptability and trust. The
Mm.
trust for me is very important between the assistant and your manager.
Mm-hmm.
And over all the years I've worked in this role, basically, I've learned to read, situations intuitively and try to anticipate needs before it's voiced,
Mm-hmm.
and to stay calm and solution oriented as well when everything around me feels uncertain.
Mm.
But what is really important for me today is I met someone in my previous job. I worked with a leader for 13 years. I've been very lucky. I feel really blessed to have worked with this person who really inspired me strongly. And he also taught me a lot about strategy, running a business, and how to, manage conflicts intelligently and fairly.
Mm-hmm.
And all those lessons that I've learned with him and through him helped me grow professionally but also personally.
Mm-hmm.
It really gave me personal life lessons, and I learned to look at things positively, and to surround myself with inspiring people,
Yeah.
and keeping learning from them, which is very important for me. I like to
Yeah.
learn from people all the time, because
Yeah.
you learn
You
all your life.
grow. Yeah.
Basically, you grow all your life. And he also taught me an important lesson is to stay aligned with your values and helping others to grow as well.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really what makes you stronger, and it helped me grow in my role professionally, but also it helped me grow personally.
That is awesome. So, the interesting thing about what you have said is so, viewers, Florence is also committee member for the Executive PA Network. And what you have said has reminded me of something that Tatiana said. She also had one of the people that she worked for that were awesome. And she learned quite a lot from this person. Actually, two bosses that she learned quite a lot from. And I think it's one of the things that people underestimate, especially when young assistants are coming into the profession. I wish they would know that this person is not just your boss. They have achieved things in their lives. You can actually learn from them and not to be afraid to just open themselves up to learning stuff, learning how to fail, learning how to succeed, learning how to, do a lot of things. So let's talk about the burnout. As you know, I am this person who is passionate about the mental health of support stuff.
Yes.
I have written the book, we have talked about it. And one of the questions that worried me that kept coming up every time I was talking to people about the book is they were telling me, so what happens after the burnout? Does somebody recover? What happens? And I told them every case is different. So we have an opportunity now to hear from you. So can you take us back to the moment when you realized you are experiencing a burnout?
Yes. Well, it's a very interesting question, and I suppose it's different for everyone because it's very personal. But basically, for me, well, having a burnout has been really a turning point in my life, and I had all the signs physically and mentally. But the thing is I didn't see them, and because I didn't listen to me, I didn't listen to my body, and I didn't listen to myself. So, my workload were keeping increasing. And as I love challenges, so I said yes. So I took, more and more work because, I felt valued and I loved all these challenges. But I never really questioned, how it was affecting my stress levels and my personal life as well. Because at home as well, I wanted to do everything. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. So you have to juggle, between everything.
Everything, yes.
And one day, my body and my mind just shut down. Basically, one morning, I couldn't get up. And I couldn't get out of my bed, and I had to go under a treatment. And I also completely lost myself. I doubted myself. I didn't, understood what happened to me. I lost completely, the direction of what my life would be. I lost my confidence. And this is when I decided to contact a coach who suggested that I should work on my ikigai. So if you don't know what is an ikigai, it's a Japanese concept that is about finding your lesson for being, and basically it helps you to understand what you could bring to the world, what the world can bring to you, and what is your values. So for me, this concept was really important. And it's also quite difficult because you have to do a huge reflection on your inner self. So it's a long process. It's something you do over several weeks, or for me, it took me like more than 2 months to do it. But it really helped me shape, what I love, what I want to do, and what I, want in life. So basically, this exercise, in a way, really, changed my life completely, because after that I decided to quit my job, to take a year off, and to take care of myself, of my well-being.
Yeah.
And during that year, I created like a bucket list
Yeah.
of all the things, I would like to achieve in my life, that I dream of and that I would like to achieve in my life. And in that list, there was a particular point that was, I would like to sing, because this is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I never took the time to do it because I was working all the time. So I decided to take singing lessons. So I went to visit a school and I started to take singing lessons to rediscover, what music is, and to have a hobby besides, my work and my family life. And this changed a lot of things actually for me. And besides, as well, as I had, all this time for myself, I reconnected with the executive and PA network at the time. And for me, it was really important, because this association, is helping others, it's building a community.
Yeah.
So I wanted to reconnect with that, and as I had time, so I had the pleasure to reconnect with my mate of the association and help them shape what the association is today. So this is it, basically.
That is really awesome. And what I pick from that, which I really like, is the fact that you were actually able to have enough support around you that you could quit, stop working, and
Yes,
really take time to heal. Because I tell people that if that is an option, because not I cannot ignore that not everybody can do that. There are people
I
who
know. I was
maybe
very
you
extremely
are
lucky
very
to do
lucky.
it.
So I keep
Yeah.
telling people that if that is an option, take it. Nobody, people are very worried about, oh, my CV will have a gap. Yeah, but you can also die because a real
This is
burnout.
exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
My CV
If
will
I
have a
died
gap.
tomorrow, what would
Yeah.
I have achieved?
Yes.
Nothing.
And so I tell people that if this is an option, take it. Take it, even if it's for 6 months. Just tell yourself that for 6 months, I need to be me, and just see how you can thrive. And let us now talk about the thing that I'm very curious about, because this is fun. So, music. How has
Yeah.
music saved your life?
Oh my God. Well, when I started to take my singing lessons, so I was a beginner, really.
Yeah.
I started from scratch. I just did that because I wanted to do it for a long time, but I didn't know how to sing or whatever. So I went to a music school and I started to, singing lessons with a teacher and other students. So we were several, with different levels.
Yeah.
And basically, it was like, I don't know, an inspiration. I started to sing, and it's like, everything that I had in myself could go out in another way, with another manner. And it really helped me, put my stress out of myself,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
So and also it really reveals me. It gave me confidence,
Mm.
because I said to myself, "Wow, I can sing. It's nice. It's it's a relief, because you work on your voice, but you also work on your posture, on your body. There
Mm-hmm.
are different things that you do."
Yes.
And then after a while, so I was happy to sing with the teacher. But then I said to the teacher, well, I love singing with you, but I would like to, you've got musicians and other singers. Could we do like a workshop so we could, have like a group? It could be fun.
Yeah.
And one day I received a phone call and I said, okay, we've put the workshop together. Would you like to come and sing with other musicians and singers? I said, yeah, I'm coming. And this is where I met my bandmate today. So we met through this workshop, and we had like a good connection,
Mm.
and we started a rock band. and we started to, have a playlist, rehearse with songs, from like AC/DC, Metallica, sorry, hard rock, pop rock,
Yeah.
and different things. And it revealed me, like, I feel really good. We started to, to play at festivals, and
Mhm.
being on stage, I felt free. I
Yeah.
felt myself.
Mm.
Uh, so for me now, my rock band is really important to me for my balance, because this is my hobby, my activity for myself.
Mm.
And nowadays we start to create music as well. We starting to create, songs. So it's another exercise, and
Mm.
creativity really helped me also on my daily work. Actually, it's all linked for me.
Mm.
So, being now very well, in my head, in my body, in my values, in who I am. I really found who I am
Mm.
now. I know exactly who I am, what I'm worth.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really important. And doing that exercise, actually, it really helped me afterwards. After that year, when I decided to go back to work, because I had to go back to work.
Yeah.
So I said, I had this list of what I wanted in my, future work, like,
Mm.
a better salary. I didn't want to work full time. I wanted
Yeah.
to work like 80%. I wanted a nice environment with values that are aligned with mine.
Mm.
And so when I started to look for a job, I did all that work, personal work
Mhm.
with on my branding.
Mhm.
And then I think that, everything was aligned. And in less than 2 months, I found the job where I am today. It's been 2 years, and it ticked 99% of my list. So,
Nice.
yeah. So for me, it was like a nice, going back, because
Yeah.
I did all that work during a year, focusing on myself.
Yeah.
But I think this is very important, and I think a lot of assistants, they forget that,
Yeah.
because we give a lot to others, but we
Mhm.
we forget
We
ourselves.
forget ourselves. And I
Yes,
love the
but
word you have used, branding,
yeah,
because many assistants forget that as a person, you're also a brand.
yes,
So you have to know where you stand. You have to know your values. You have to know what you're about. I mean, there is
exactly,
no company that does not know its brand, and you can't just be floating like that. You need to, at some point in your career, own who you are.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's very important.
It's
It's an exercise that we should all do at some point in our career,
mm.
because working for years, at some point, I think you forget yourself,
You
because,
do.
you're comfortable, you're in the routine, and
Yeah,
but you're doing things, and sometimes you're scared of change, because change is scary.
it
But
is.
it's also quite interesting, and it's exciting, because once you've done it, you see that the world actually opens to you. You
Yeah.
don't have to say where you are. You don't have to, to stay in your comfort zone. You can go beyond that, and you will see that, there are so many exciting things out there. But it's just, a matter of mindset,
Yes.
and you need to evolve,
Mm-hmm.
not to change, but just evolve,
Just
because
evolve. The
um,
who you were 5 years ago should not be the same person today.
exactly,
One of the things that surprised me recently, as you and I will live in Geneva, and we know quite a lot of people who are losing their jobs at the moment.
yes,
And one of the things that surprised me was how many people were telling me they have not even looked at their CV. Like they don't even know where their CV is because they have been at the same job for 10 years. So they just never even look at their CV. And I update my CV every 2 months. I go back to my CV and update it. And just sometimes there's nothing to update. Sometimes I just want to look at it and remember, oh, I can actually do all these things. And sometimes it's good for me also to remember what I did in my other jobs. And
exactly.
People do not understand that. They find it very strange. But I told them that you cannot be comfortable, because the minute you're comfortable, and somebody once told me that the most dangerous thing for especially an assistant is having an open-ended contract, so a fixed contract, because then you feel like, okay, I'm here to stay. I'm here until retirement. So I don't have to do anything else. I just have to be good at my job and get a good performance review, and life is good. So you never have to worry about looking for a job, which is not true, because this is Switzerland. They don't even need a reason to fire you. They can still fire you. And you don't need to worry about impressing and everything. But that is also not true. So we need to keep constantly evolving. Now there's AI. What do you know about AI? You can't keep saying, oh, this is how we've been doing it, because somebody else who knows AI will come and replace you.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. We need to evolve in our job, stay up to date with, new technology. It's very important. And I completely agree with you. I never took a job for granted. The one I stayed for 13 years, I never took it for granted.
Yeah.
I knew that, from one day to another, I could be out.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave, but, maybe you never know what's going to happen. So you always should be, aware of this. I think it's
Yeah.
very important, because otherwise, if you're too comfortable, it's very dangerous for yourself. So,
Yeah.
and I think the exercise of knowing yourself, because, at 50, you're not the same person that you were at 20 or 30. Your experience, your competencies, your skills, they have evolved. And also, you got married, some not. You had children or not, but all of these things that happen in your life in those 20, 30 years changed you. It made you evolve. So I think at some point I think it's very important to just make a pause and just reflect on yourself, on who you are. What is your values now? What do you want for the rest of your life? And I understand that this is a luxury, that everybody doesn't have that opportunity. And I've been extremely, blessed to do it. I had the support of my husband. So I'm really, really grateful for that, for my family to have supported me during that year. But it really saved my life. Honestly, it really helped me to grow and to find the right opportunity for me today, to have a nice life like I wanted it to be, balanced between professional and personal, and doing things that I love.
How do you do that balance? Because the other risk of people who've come from burnout is they go back into the job market and then they feel like they have to prove themselves. Then they end up in burnout again, because then they start doing too much. So how do you find the balance between your personal, your professional, your joy?
Yes. Well, firstly, I didn't go back in a corporate environment. So I'm working for a family office, which is completely different than a corporate environment. So the stress level is completely different. And I wouldn't even say that I don't have even, stress. But also I've learned, my value. I know who I am and what I'm worth. So I didn't want, in this job, I didn't want to prove myself, because I am myself and I know what I can do. So yes, I'm working hard for my boss to achieve my goals, and my priorities. But I'm not looking for proving anything. So I don't put any pressure on myself anymore. I don't do that. And when I signed my contract, I've been very clear to my boss as well, saying, now, I want to do, I've got a schedule. So I told him at 5 o'clock, I want to be out, because I've got other activities. And as is he agrees, with my values. He said, yeah, of course, it's very important for you to have a personal life. So we agree on that. And we found, a good agreement between ourselves. So I think I'm very lucky to have found someone that, that is really human and understand that.
Yeah.
But it's also the environment. Working for a family is completely different from the corporate world, where you have a lot of stress. And I didn't want to go back in that world again, basically. But I've learned to say no, which I did not before. So it helps me a lot, because now when, somebody asks me something, I said, okay, I cannot do it now. I'll do it tomorrow. It can wait. It's not a priority for me. So, I'm not working on Wednesdays. So if it's, on Tuesday night, I say, okay, I'll do it on Thursday. No problem at all. But I'm not doing it now because I've got other priorities. And actually it works really well. People, they'd say, okay, no
So
worries.
many people are afraid of setting boundaries because
Yes.
they believe that if they set boundaries, they are showing that they're not prioritizing the job. But that's actually not true. It shows that
No, it's
I
the
care
reverse.
so much about the job that I don't want to kill myself. I don't
Exactly.
want to kill myself doing it. And I was explaining to somebody that I was once at a job that was so in there was so much work and I was taking in so much because I was afraid of losing it because it was short-term contracts. I was so afraid of losing it that there was a time I was up at 3 a.m. typing a memo and breastfeeding my son at the same time. And that was the day I realized that this is not sustainable. And the sad thing about it is I left the job because I found another one which was going to be better, which was going to have more work-life balance. But then when I spoke to my boss, because I'm so lucky, I always become friends with my bosses even when I'm working, we usually get along well. So when I was explaining to her my motivation for leaving the job, she told me, you could have just asked for less because we gave you and we thought that it was okay because two people went on burnout and I was replacing them. And she just thought it was okay because I never said anything. And I'm very outspoken. So they just assumed that if it was too much, I would say it. But I was so afraid of losing my job that I did not want. I kept thinking if I say it's too much, when it's time to renew the contract, they will think that, oh, no, maybe we can get somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So communication is key, honestly.
exactly.
You have to communicate when you feel something is too much for you. You have to communicate it to your boss because they cannot guess it for you. If you don't speak up, no, but it's
Yes.
true because sometimes people are afraid to speak up. If you don't speak up, and do it, nicely. There's, if you do it the right way, you can find a solution always.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so that was really lovely. I always ask at the end of these interviews, can you tell me if you were to meet a 25-year-old almost assistant who is
yeah.
starting out, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them don't lose yourself, to service others. As PA, you give a lot of time to others, but take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Think about you.
Yeah.
Try to know you.
Yeah.
Take time for you to have hobbies besides work. It's
Yeah.
very, very important. And be aligned with yourself, because if all this experience, I've learned something. It's about alignment. It's when your work, your passion, and your values are in harmony. That's when everything starts to flow.
Yeah.
For me, that's the advice that I would give to a 25-year-old.
And it is really awesome advice coming from two veterans. Thank you so much, Florence. And
But thank you, Mercy, for having me. It's been really,
okay.
really nice.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. Okay, so I'll see you at the next event, at the next
Yes,
Executive PA event.
of course.
Okay, see you.
Okay, see you. Bye.